Rocky probably had a point, didn't he? It's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Boxing is all about courage. It's all about character. To get into the ring in the first place, and then to pick yourself off the canvas when things aren't going very well. In terms of applying that phrase to life, yeah, it works. Great scene, by the way. But when you apply it in that manner to boxing, it's easy to undervalue the worth of a big punch. When you can punch hard in the ring, it's not just the fact you can attain the result of possibly a one-punch knockout. It changes the psychology of what's going on in there. Your opponent is less likely to press you. They're going to give you more time, more space, and that is going to allow you to get your boxing together a little bit more. So it has a ripple effect, a big punch. I bring it up because there's a certain British boxer called Josh Kelly. Quite a few of you have already probably heard of the guy. He's a 5'10" welterweight, known as Pretty Boy. He's got the movie star looks, and I think there was quite a bit of buzz about him to begin with. But his last 3 fights, which have all probably been his best 3 opponents, have all gone the distance. And this is a guy who has a style. It's a very self-satisfied style, and a lot of people are now accusing him, or rather starting to see, that there's more flash than substance. It's starting to become his own worst enemy. He fights in a way in which he expects his punches. Sometimes he throws that left hook and uppercut a bit like a young Roy Jones, but it has absolutely none of the steam behind it that a Roy Jones did back in the day. Now, Josh Kelly is trained by Adam Booth, one of the top British trainers at the moment, in the past, and probably for the future as well. I really like how he talks to his talks to his fighters in the corner. It's very clear what he says. He doesn't rush. It's all tactics in there. It's not just, come on, baby, we lost that one. He really knows what he's talking about. Problem is, though, with Booth, the Booth style that we saw in George Groves and David Haye, it really worked with those guys because they could both punch. That style of fighting, the keystone in it was the fact they had power. Take away power from George Groves and David Haye, and they are nowhere near as successful. There's a good chance they never become world champions. Now, yes, Josh Kelly is at a lighter weight, so we can expect him to be a little bit more skillful. Adam Booth has actually said he's the most talented fighter he's worked with, but that just further proves what I'm getting at here. Kelly has all kinds of little intricate moves in there. The footwork's good. He knows how to make advances on you, to turn at the shoulder. But when he goes to throw those big punches which he's loading up and they have no effect, the opponent starts to think, hang on, there's no real threat here from this flashy guy. I can start to press him. His last 3 fights have gone the distance. They've been difficult. He drew against Ray Robinson, not Sugar Ray. And the hype is starting to go down on this kid now. Now, Prince Naseem Hamed, he used to do similar things like this, very self-satisfied. He would do things that a casual would think are skillful. And a better trained eye would say he didn't actually do anything there. He didn't score in the ring at all. But Naz could get away with it. There were things, if you go back and watch Naz during his title run and before, where he'd be faffing about for ages. He'd even drop the odd round. His chin was caught hanging in the air at times. But he could always bail himself out with that big power, so it didn't matter. The equalizer. Josh Kelly does not seem to have any of that at all. And he's only about 11 fights in. The competition has only just started to go up. We're talking European level. And he is finding it difficult to crack an egg. Now, yes, 11 fights. And he's 25, so there is time to improve. But he better nip this in the bud, because I see a guy who is overly satisfied with his style, who needs to really get down to the basics, because his identity as a puncher is not working. And if you fall in love with power that isn't even there, then that is a car crash waiting to happen.